If your Christian marriage needs breakthrough, we have good news for you today.
What if the breakthrough in your marriage doesn't come through comfort, but in choosing grace even when it hurts?
After 33 years of marriage, we've seen how God works not just through the joyful moments, but also in the valleys when it is harder to forgive.
Today, we're sharing the biblical truth that changed how we responded when we feel wounded.
And how sowing love, kindness, and forgiveness can even transform the most fragile of seasons. Give us a heart emoji if you're ready to dive in. Teresa, we're going to talk about how important it is for love and kindness to be in the center of the home. Because in a Christian marriage, Christ should be in the center of the home. And Jesus told us that God is love. So God worked through Jesus. God the Father worked through Jesus, and he exemplified the will of God. So when he was healing and forgiving and raising the dead, he was showing us the love of God. So he didn't lead with judgment. He led with love. Just like the woman who was caught in adultery, Jesus told her to go and sin no more.
That's right. But he didn't condemn her. That was what was so beautiful in that story. He could have done exactly what everyone else was doing, was ready to stone her and condemn her to death, but he loved her and showed her mercy and forgiveness. But like you said, but she had to make a change. She had to be willing to have a different life from now on, be forgiven, and not to sin anymore the way that she was living.
Right. It is so important to speak life even when the emotions rise in the marriage.
Right.
Proverbs tell us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. So it's so important to speak life instead of death. Don't say, oh, he's never going to change. Or I can never please her. I can never do enough to please her. But what should we do instead, Teresa?
Wow. You could say, my husband is walking with God, and I believe that he is growing in the Lord. You can even tell him, I am trusting God that you are learning and growing, and we're learning how to do things better in our marriage, and just encourage him, build him up all the time, show him you appreciate him, and tell him, you did such a good job with this, honey, whatever it is.
Husbands, speak life to your wife. Tell her that she is the woman that God had brought to you. She is the woman of your dreams. You have eyes for no other woman but her. She is gorgeous. She is ravishing. Tell her that she looks beautiful. Tell her how much great her outfit looks on her. Tell her how stunning she is. To speak life to her. Colossians 3:19 in the New Living Translation says, husbands, love your wife and never treat them harshly.
That's so good. That's for a wife to be the responder in the relationship. Men are initiators and women are usually responders. And if you're not being treated harshly, wives, it's so easy, isn't it, just to respond with genuine affection. But if we're treated harshly, we're going to shrink away from, intimacy and love with our husband. It's gonna feel like an unsafe environment.
Right. Let us ask you a question. Have you ever found it hard to show kindness when you were hurting? If so, drop yes in the comments and share with us what helped get you through it. We would love to hear your story. Teresa, there is healing power in forgiveness, isn't there?
That's right.
Because when you hold on to a grudge, or you hold on to bitterness, and you hold on to unforgiveness, it's not hurting the other person. Right. It's really hurting you. And it's putting you in shackles. It's keeping you from being the person God has called you to be. Is that right,
That's
Teresa?
so true. That is so true.
Now, forgiveness is not agreement. It doesn't mean that you're agreeing to wherever the situation is, but it's freedom.
It means you're setting the other person free, and like you said, you're keeping yourself from being put in a prison, Because if you're trying to hold unforgiveness, it does create a prison. Your heart gets hard. Your heart gets, less and less loving for sure. And that's not what you want in your marriage at all.
Correct. Forgiveness brings peace to you.
That's right. I know if you're holding unforgiveness, I know when I have ever had unforgiveness about any little thing or big thing, I was just agitated and upset about the situation, about what was said or what was done. And that's not peace. But if you forgive and you let it go, you let the incident go, you let the bad words go, and don't hold it against that person anymore, don't hold it against your spouse anymore, you will find that God's peace will begin to fill your heart and your mind.
And we can forgive because he first forgave us.
That's so true. That is so true. He gives us the power to forgive, just like he first loved us. So we have that capacity for love the way that God loves, which includes forgiveness. And same thing, he forgave us a great debt, so we can forgive one another.
Right. Ephesians 4:32 in the New Living Translation, I'm going to read it. Instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God, through Christ, has forgiven you.
That's such a beautiful verse. I know I go back to that often, not just when we were married, but even before we were married. That was like a really important verse for me to help me know how to live out the way God treats other people. So in marriage, it is very important.
Teresa, let's talk a little bit how daily choices lead to a lifelong harvest. The Bible tells us that, be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatever a man sow, he shall also reap. And we know this in life. The world calls it karma, where things that you do come back to you. So, but small, faithful actions bring spiritual momentum. When we sow daily love, kindness, and forgiveness, sow it, and you sow it, and you sow it, and you give, and you give, and give. It's going to bring a bountiful harvest, isn't it, Teresa?
That's right. That's right. You'll find that your marriage is getting more and more beautiful as the time goes on, when both of you have decided to do this, to sow love and kindness and forgiveness on a daily basis. Because if you don't determine to do that, it is easy to have grudges start building up and things that are not, being agreed upon start becoming an irritation and agitation in your relationship. And we don't want that to be the pattern. We want this to be a pattern of living by love and forgiveness and kindness.
And that's a great way to build trust. Little acts of love, kindness, and forgiveness. Love, kindness, and forgiveness will build trust.
They will, and trust is something that's earned over time. If you're doing this daily and treating your spouse, like Jesus said, the way you want to be treated, this will build trust in your relationship more and more. It goes both ways.
Right. Dr. Jerry Savelle taught us that God never forgets a seed sown. So you sow, you seem like you sow and you sow and you sow and nothing's happened. I'm telling you, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep sowing love, kindness, and forgiveness. Love, kindness, forgiveness. And you will see a harvest, because God never forgets a seed sown.
That's right.
If this video spoke to your heart, hit that like button. It helps us reach more marriages with this message of hope.
And drop a comment, especially if you've ever struggled to show kindness when it hurt.
And if you need prayer, drop a message in the comments or send us an email at inspiringmarriages@att.net.
And we've also created a devotional guide to help you to sow love, kindness, and forgiveness daily. So drop the word devotional in the comments for a 7-day devotional. It will really bless your marriage.
Yeah, we're really excited about this devotional. It's really well done. She did a great job. If you'd like to go deeper, check out our other spiritual intimacy videos. Until next time, remember, husband and wife are friends for life.